Alright, welcome back YouTube. We're back to a odd one. This is the driveline out of a 1983 Toyota little pickup truck. Actually, my old lady's, she wanted a real project here. She got one. Okay, back to our driveline though. What we got going is we are going to... I have bought a brand new carrier bearing for this truck. I literally cut off the old one. Big old wide son of a gun. And yeah, I think it's got me beat. I beat the hell out of the driveline. So our next step, since this driveline is actually so short, I'm sure that this is not an uncommon thing to... We're gonna, long story short, weld a piece of pipe in here when it's straight, and I use jack stands so I can actually roll it and find the center and make sure that this little home job will turn out good and it won't vibrate, be off-centered, and all that good stuff. But we're gonna go ahead and kind of video this and take a couple pictures. I'm gonna end up cutting on the weld right here with my die grinder, my tool of choice for something like this, and I will rotate this driveline as I spin it or cut it on both there, and then we're going to hit here as well. End result, I'm probably going to take that piece of 2-inch pipe, schedule 40, in my prior life of gas piping. Anyway, that's a scrap piece I have. I'm going to probably cut this off, and there's a little slide in on the end of this piece that goes inside of this. What I'm going to try to do is keep that straight piece of pipe. It's long enough to reach from here, and then we're going to put some kind of a sleeve in here to keep the pipe straight like it should be. And then if it's off at all, I can still work with slightly bending it or whatever possibility or anything that might occur. But we're going to go ahead and shorten this up now. Let me cut this. I'll take a couple pictures and resume with the video. And bear with me. Alright, we are resuming. Welcome back. Anyway, I cut around this whole piece right here very evenly. And remember, this drive shaft is balanced. So if you're off, you're going to feel a hell of a vibration. And with that being said, that's something that you don't want. I did cut it with the die grinder slowly, about just over a 1/16 inch deep around it. Keep it very square as far as angle, all the way around to the best of your ability. And like I said, that'll help you a lot. This right here is the piece that actually slides in the driveline, and if you can see, I didn't cut very deep. I cut just enough. I am familiar with these. So with cutting that, we got our piece out with a couple light taps from a hammer, and broke my prior hammer trying to get this dang piece apart right here, which I didn't have any success. And honestly, we wanted a one-piece driveline in this truck anyway, so this works perfect. Our next step is going to be trying to slide our sleeve, and it's good to either slide a sleeve that is outer or that comes from the inside to the next piece of pipe. Even if it's a short distance, it'll help. So here we go. Here is our 2-inch schedule 40. And we are going to see if we can make this fit inside. And actually, that fits really good. That's just about right. There's probably like a 32nd of an inch clearance. That's exactly what I would like. So what that will allow is us to slide this whole thing in this pipe and adjust it. Because if the angle of the driveline is like this with that carrier bearing in, and you measure and make the same length on the driveline, when it's straight, it's not going to fit because it will be too long. You need to allow room for your yoke to slide in and out of the tranny. As the rear end goes up and down, it moves forward and back like that. So keep in mind, leave yourself a little bit of clearance. It will seal in the back of this tranny. Let me get some light in here for you. There you go. It will seal in here. So there you go. And we are going to be straight shot to the rear end now. No stops in between. So let me go ahead and cut our next section off, which will be, actually I'll probably just go ahead and cut it here because I hate doing multiple areas of weld. It'll be all the more weld, all the more wobble. So few pieces as possible. And you can, man, I'm doing this in my garage, so can you. If it's wrong, take it to your local driveline repair, builder, whoever you got local, and have them balance it, and you'll be good to go. A few weights, simple problem, solved, fixed, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to go ahead and start on our next piece of this, actually, so bear with me. I'm going to pause it for a brief moment again. And we'll resume in a minute when I get the next piece set up and ready to go. Alright, how you know if you got a square cut? I figured I'd catch you right while I was at it. I normally kind of keep this kind of deep. And how you know you have a square cut is I keep my tool, my cutting tool in the same spot, but I put this on jack stands, for example, where I can just rotate it. So I turn this, I don't have to move the tool. That's where you can easily make a mistake. And like I said though, the best way to tuck your square is when you come around again, it lines back up with itself. And this one did perfectly. So there you go. And here, I'm out of the way. Bam, got it. Alright, well, I ended up using this piece as the actual sleeve on this one. I'm going to slide it on shortly. We're going to square it up the best we can. There's a little bit of play. Now this piece, the pipe actually goes way back here so that we can adjust it in or out. Excuse me. In or out. Little Monster Energy drink. And anyway, we're going to weld this side, and then we're going to temporarily bolt that and slide this into place. I want to find my wiggle room, which I'll record in this video too, but we're going to start with tacking this in place, making sure it's square. And how I make sure it's square is when I get that tacked on, remember heat shrinks, so it's going to pull off to one side. Be prepared for that. But we will rotate it to find and make sure that this piece is not off when it rotates. So there you go. We're going to go ahead and weld that, and I'll resume. Alright, we welded all the way around our drive line. I am going to grind this. We've got some bumpy stuff. Had to adjust my heat just a little bit. Other than that, yeah, we're going to grind it, clean it up, thin it out, make it look good. And then we'll work on putting it in temporarily and getting this side tacked up for our length and distance. Our play and the travel of it as well. So there you go. We'll keep going. Resume in a second. Alright, we have resumed. We temporarily just slid our drive line in place. So the back here. We left this side unwelded, untampered with.
7 days a week, 15 to 16 hours a day.
And this side up here is all the way pressed in to the tranny. Now, what I did, see how I'm moving that out? I found where it actually comes out, where it comes out of the tranny, okay? So what I did is I split the difference. I measured from a point, being this point right here at the edge of the U-joint cap, to this right here, the sleeve on the transmission. I got 4.5 inches, so I am going to leave a slack of 2 inches for this thing to go in and out as the rear end goes up and down. So I've already marked that on the piping there. I'm going to go ahead and pull it back out, and I'm going to weld it. And then I'm going to grind all these welds to try to make them as even as possible, so this thing is not out of balance and vibrating like heck going down the road. So bear with me. I'm gonna pause this again. Alright, resuming. Live and in action. Okay, like I said, this side's all cut and welded. This side is ready for adjustment. And rule of thumb here I tried to go by is pay attention to where your U-joints line up. Like this way or this way. What I try to do is offset them where one's flat, one's up and down. So what I mean by that is, see these knuckles on the end, take those and be opposite on this side. So what that does is it makes it where the driveline can't really bind, I'd say, and it makes it more of an even balance too as it's spinning. So we got this one up and down on this end, the actual knuckles. And then if you look at this side, we're flat side to side. A hair of adjustment, yes. We're gonna spin that. Okay. Now I need to find my line, which is right here in silver marker. You can see that. Okay, so we got our line, we got our lengths. That U-joint's up and down. The knuckles on the end of this one are left to right. So we're gonna go ahead and tack this. Tack it. And then I'm gonna rotate it a couple revolutions here and make sure that it's round. That it's not spinning like it's a banana off to one side. So let's go ahead and tack this up and we'll resume. Alright, we're back at it. Don't mind the bright orange, it is October. No. There we go. We got everything situated. We welded everything. Kind of gave it a slight grind with the air there. And got it all put back together. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry for a couple minutes. And then test fit it. But that'll be the sum of our story right there. And yeah, driveline shortened. I know it'll work. Now as far as balancing, these are balance weights right here actually. So pretty much we're gonna have to put it in the vehicle, test drive it, and we'll bring it up to speed, see if we feel any normal vibrations that aren't there normally anyway. But other than that, we're gonna give it a go. Alright, here be the conclusion of our bright orange driveline. Welded. And we did just the only paint I had laying around, of course. Ugly color, but it's all back in, new bolts. And everything rotates. Seems like it's balanced. We're happy and we're gonna roll with that. 83 Toyota pickup. Shorten the driveline and probably common for a lot of drivelines. So there you go. Thanks for watching.